What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games. Now, you know that I play a lot of retro video games. You know that I love Nintendo. You may also know that the Nintendo Switch is my current favorite console of this generation of video games. But you might not know that Breath of the Wild, the first Legend of Zelda open world game for the Switch, is a very important game to me. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was not only the first game that I got on the Switch, and one of the driving reasons to get a Switch, it was also a very important time for me to share it with my friends. And one of my best friends, Brian, the Caffeinated Owl on YouTube, me and him, we pre-ordered the Switch when it first was about to be coming out. We pre-ordered the Switch, and we pre-ordered Breath of the Wild, and he came over to my house. This is back when I was living at the coast at my mom's place. And he came all the way over from Washington down to Oregon, and we had a really fun time, playing Breath of the Wild for the whole weekend. We called it Switchmas because it was the release of the Switch, so it was kind of like Christmas, Switchmas. And that's a kind of experience that doesn't come around too often. That's a kind of experience that only comes around usually on like console launches, like when the Wii came out, or stuff like that. Like when a big console launch happens, there's a big game that comes out for it. That's a big event. Now, me and Brian played Breath of the Wild for a very long time that weekend, and it was a lot of fun, and we continued to play it even after that weekend, of course. But it was just a really memorable experience and a lot of fun. There was doing one part where the power went out, so we had our Switches and we could still play them because they're handhelds, even when the power was out. So the party never stopped. So it was a lot of fun, very memorable moment. And I'm happy that I got to share that kind of moment again with another game. Now, this isn't actually a launch title game or anything like that. It's a game for the Switch, which is already out, and it's already existing, but it felt like a console launch. And I don't know how Nintendo was able to do that, recreate the magic, but make it even better than Breath of the Wild with the new game, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And this game not only exceeded my expectations so far, it also the event and the launch and the pre-order and leading up to it was an event that kind of felt like a console launch. It was a big deal, and still is a big deal, less than a week away from when it happened, and it was a lot of fun. And we pretty much got to recreate, me and Brian, the Caffeinated Owl once again, got to recreate Switchmas. So we call it Switchmas 2. We hyped it up for like a month or so, even more than that actually, just counting down the days to the Switchmas event. Now, what we did was we went to GameStop, our local GameStop, and we pre-ordered the game. We called them on the phone because you can't pre-order it from the website. A little confusing. So we pre-ordered the game on the phone, picked it up at the store. But when you go to the store, it's on Thursday. The game actually comes out on Friday, but they did a 9 o'clock midnight launch to sync up with the East Coast time. So this was a 9 o'clock midnight launch. It wasn't really midnight. You got your games at 9 o'clock. So me and Brian drove to the GameStop. We secured our pre-order. Brian added on an amiibo of Twilight Princess amiibo and a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller to his order. And then we pretty much just hang out, waited. We got there a little bit late for securing the pre-order. We got there at 7, so we only had a couple hours left to wait, which is why we were in group 6 out of 7 or more. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was fun waiting for it. It actually wasn't that bad. Time went by really fast. And then once we got the game, got the pre-order stuff, got the controller and amiibo and everything, we headed home. And we did an 8+ hour live stream. This is a private live stream. It's just an offline recording pretty much, only for our local friends. And it was a live stream of us playing the game for 8+ hours straight from the beginning to a certain point in the game. We barely made it off of the Sky Islands at the start of the game within that 8 hours because we got lost. We both got lost running around, just distracted with all the cool stuff to do in the game Tears of the Kingdom, and it was just so much fun. We eventually did make it down to Hyrule and to some other parts of Hyrule, and started our real adventure then. Woo! Yeah, baby! Alright, let's take a little look at the case and pre-order bonuses for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'll have some close-ups as well, and then I'll tell you my first impressions on the game Tears of the Kingdom. Here's the box. Here's the back of the box. The inside has artwork, but it's not super exciting inside other than the artwork. A lot of first-party Nintendo Switch games have artwork inside the cases as well, but they usually don't include any bonuses inside them. As far as I know, there is no Nintendo Switch games, first-party, aside from collector's editions, that come with something more inside. There's a lot of third-party games, there's a lot of indie games that do more, and it leaves people wanting more from Nintendo. But with this one, you just get some artwork inside. So that's pretty much all there is to see for Tears of the Kingdom. Now, you might be wondering what's on my arm. This is a sleeve. No, I didn't get a bunch of tattoos in one day. This is a sleeve, and it's a pre-order bonus. Now, this wasn't labeled on the website or anything else. It was just there at GameStop when they gave it to me. So it's the arm sleeve, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Kind of recreates what Link has on his own arm in the game, or maybe it's not his arm. And the other pre-order bonus was a wooden plaque, which was labeled on the website as the pre-order bonus, and it looks like this. Now, interestingly enough, Brian got one too, of course, and I noticed that the wood grain, I mean, this is an actual piece of wood that they engraved it on. Some of them might be darker or lighter, or might have different lines on the wood. So it is an actual piece of wood. It's not like it's just cardboard, and it's not like balsa wood either. It's like actually like, it's kind of thick for a piece of wood. Like, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, a piece of wood is just like, okay, here's a piece of wood with some Zelda stuff on it. Not that exciting, but it's cool to have a free pre-order bonus. But it is a little better quality than I expected. I expected it to be really cheap. I was like, oh, maybe it'll break, but no, it's fine. The pre-order, launch party, and the entire event went great. It was exciting, fun. I know Brian was super excited. He did his happy dance, and it was just so much fun leading up to the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom launch. The pre-order bonuses were good. Brian also got a Pro Controller that is Tears of the Kingdom themed, and a Twilight Princess amiibo, which works with the game. He also has the Nintendo Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom edition too, but I don't have any pictures of that. So he has like pretty much everything except for the collector's edition, which we could not get. They did have the collector's edition that night, but no one else could get it except for the people that pre-ordered it. So I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom for about half a week now. Started it on Thursday night, continuing on till Monday of the next week. And here's my first impressions. First of all, the starting tutorial island is really well done. Not only that, but the intro cutscene and leading up to that event is expertly done as well. It's fun, it makes it feel like a game and cinematic at the same time. Once you're in the tutorial Sky Island area, on the skies high above Hyrule, it's pretty exciting how you can learn and do new things with the new abilities that Link has in this game. And it's a tutorial. It doesn't feel exactly like a tutorial. Like, it's not like, you know, like for a while when the Wii came out, especially when the Wii came out, a lot of Wii games and Wii U games and some Switch games had excessive tutorials. There was too much things that were new with the controller on the Wii that Nintendo had to explain what to do in some games because it was too complex to just pick up and play. Like, there's a lot of games. Like, I have a series called Wii Wednesdays where we play Wii games, and a lot of those games will have tutorials that'll explain the controls when they're supposed to be pick up and play on the Wii, like Wii Sports. You know what to do right away. There are a lot of games on the Wii that require a lot of tutorials or explaining how to play this game in this specific way with this unique controller, the Wii Remote. But on this game, it has new features like building, ascending, time reversal, the Ultra Hand, and more. And it doesn't explain them in a text-like tutorial. It's not like you're reading a rule book. It basically explains them as you go along and allows you to explore creativity and just kind of figure things out on your own. Sometimes you'll figure things out in a way that the game might not expect you to, and you might find yourself doing things in a way that other people wouldn't on their gameplay playthroughs, and you just might find yourself doing things that are completely different and completely unexpected, and maybe not the right way to play the game, but they still help you win the game and succeed and make it to the next part of the game, or complete a shrine, or which are basically like same thing as the shrines in Breath of the Wild, but all new, and they all kind of are either combat related or something with your new abilities. Now, as I'm playing this game half a week later, I've done about 40 different shrines. I've completed one of the spoilers. This is spoiler territory. If you don't know anything about this game and you love Zelda, don't watch this part. But I have completed one of the dungeons, which is the Water Temple. And the Water Temple is extremely exciting. I'm actually about to start some of the other temples too, but so far I've only completed the Water Temple. There's an entire Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, which is also very different than Breath of the Wild, with new features. The new townspeople have new things to say, or maybe they've grown older and remember Link and stuff like that. The towns don't look the same as they did in Breath of the Wild. The layout of the land doesn't look exactly like it does in Breath of the Wild. It's familiar but new. The sky area is really exciting and kind of dangerous, and the things you have to learn up there and the way to get back up there is just really interesting. You can skydive from new heights, literally, and you can go higher than before. You can go up and so high in the air that there's like low gravity, which is weird but cool. Especially in the Water Temple, there's low gravity. There's an entire huge, possibly bigger than Hyrule, underground Hyrule in the game. And if you go underneath Hyrule Castle, which Brian did on accident when I was watching him, I haven't done it yet, but I was watching him off stream, there is some really deep depths. Like it goes like Hyrule, the sky, the depths, and then you go like really deep. Like it's crazy, it's nuts. This game has so much content in it, so much stuff to do, so much new stuff to do, and it feels like familiar but new. It doesn't really feel like DLC. Like some people are saying, oh, it's just DLC. No, there was DLC for Breath of the Wild. This was originally going to be DLC for Breath of the Wild. They had too many ideas. They made it into an entire sequel. It feels like a sequel. People are forgetting what sequels are supposed to be like. Like think about like Super Mario Brothers. Like Super Mario Bros. 2, it adds more stuff, more characters, stuff like that. Even in Japan, Super Mario Bros. 2 is very similar to Super Mario Bros. 1. It's a different game. Things like that, like you take The Legend of Zelda on the NES, take The Legend of Zelda 2 on NES, The Adventure of Link. They look like two different games, but they share similarities. So this shares many similarities to Breath of the Wild, maybe even more than Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES. It shares the same art style, many of the same characters return, some of the same music, but there's a lot of new music. Some of the same areas, but things are different. It's pretty cool, it's pretty exciting. There's so much more stuff. It seems like there's so much more stuff to do in this game. I could be wrong, but you know how in Breath of the Wild, it was like, once you get off the plateau, you're like, okay, go kill Ganon. Your quest is literally like, destroy Ganon. This one, it's not so simple. This one, there's more of a story to it. There's more to do. I'm not sure at this point if you have to complete all the temples. There's more than 4, I believe. Big dungeon-like temples, like classic Zelda style, 3D Zelda style temples in this game. Like the Water Temple took me like 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, like this has a lot of content. You can't really, as far as I've seen, I mean, you probably can because there's a speedrunner just beating it so far in a very short amount of time. I don't know how. He must have practiced on Breath of the Wild for a long time. But there's probably a way to just scram through this game, but it's not as straightforward as Breath of the Wild is, and I'm pretty sure you can't beat this game as fast as Breath of the Wild. A normal player, a non-speedrunner, someone who hasn't practiced and never played this before, like this one before, probably take a long time. Now with me, I want to do as much stuff as I can before I go to fight Ganondorf or whatever the heck might be the final boss. So I'm trying to do all the temples, learn about the story, do many sub-quests, collect some Koroks, do most of the shrines. So far I have almost all the stamina gauge filled, and I'm keeping my hearts pretty low. And it's just, there's so much to do. It's a lot of fun, new mechanics, new changes to the world that you already know and love. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video right here on Happy Bird Games. Today we checked out Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, talked about the pre-order, talked about the launch event, talked about my experiences with this game and its predecessor, Breath of the Wild, and it was a lot of fun. Alright everybody, thanks for watching once again. Please be sure to leave a like, share with your friends, leave a comment, subscribe today for more classic gaming goodness. You can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and more. And check out my link tree. All right, everybody, thanks for watching once again. Bye.